Hi everyone, I'm Deanne from Newfoundland, Canada. Welcome to my Flosstube channel, Stitching on the Rock. We are at episode 43. Happy Thanksgiving to all my Canadian subscribers. I hope you had a great long weekend. If you have a long weekend, it's a holiday here today for schools and government offices and I think the stores as well. I'm not sure. I haven't been out. It's outside. We have words today are going to be hard. We have officially reached fall. We are no longer in false fall. And for those of you who don't know, false fall for us is it's like 10 degrees in the morning when you get up and it hits like 25 in the afternoon, and no matter how you dress, you're wrong. But yesterday was lovely. My son and I actually took a nice drive around kind of the outskirts of town and enjoyed a really nice day yesterday. But other than that, it's been kind of dreary and it's supposed to rain all week. So yeah, okay, enough about the weather. What's been going on? Not a whole lot. My son, for those of you who are new, rewind. Thank you to Michelle and Cheryl from Two Bay Stitchers who shouted me out. I know I shouted them out last time. They did me. My subscribers kind of went off a jump because I'm sure of them. So welcome to everyone who's new. And thanks to them. And I hope I live up to what they said because they were so nice. They were really nice about my channel. And I struggle. I'm very self-conscious about talking to you guys even though you're not here and on camera and all that, and I'll do a lot of ums and ahs, but I try. So I hope you enjoy your time here, and if you've come to watch for the first time, hit the subscribe button. So anyway, I was saying, for those of you who are new, trying to remember what I was talking about, my son is 16. He has autism and ADHD. He's brilliant academically. He's not so brilliant when it comes to social cues. And they've been giving him a bit of leeway this year. He's in grade 11 and hoping, and they had a perfect storm for him last week. One day he had a substitute assistant. He has a student assistant with him. And then they had a lockdown drill. And they had to hide away. And he got too close to one of the female students. Nothing like violently or anything like that, or anything that I think meant anything other than he was overwhelmed and she got upset. And so some of the things that they've been letting him have a bit of freedom with this year, they've kind of pulled back on, which is disappointing because anyway, enough about that. You don't want to see a blubbering mom on video. It was just not a good few days at the end of the last week. Hopefully it would, these are one-time instances that the circumstances, he doesn't know how to deal with them, and so he kind of does something, I don't want to say inappropriate, because it was just not as bad as they made it out to be. But that's just my opinion. Anyway, so hopefully things will get better going on. We'll see. So let's talk about September. September, for those of you who are new here, I designate as September Smalls. I tend to stitch a lot of full coverage or fairly large pieces, and so last year I decided, was watching Flosstube and I saw all these cute little things that people were doing and putting in bowls and that, so I said I'm going to do some of those, and I do them all along. It's just that September means that I put away my big stuff for a whole month and work on the small stuff. Totally. So I got 3 FFOs out of it, and yeah, I'm going to share those first. So first up, anything that I can link below, I will. I don't usually with the full coverage ones because they're all Heaven and Earth designs, and you can go on Heaven and Earth designs and decide what you like. But for the smallest, if I can, I will. So first up is a freebie from Pinker and Pumpkin Stitching. Pinker and Pumpkin Quilting. And I'll link her blog below. She's got tons of freebies if you've never heard of her or are looking for some smalls to stitch. This one is called Sunflower Sampler, and here we are. I turned it into a pillow. So it's done 2/2 on a 28 count from Michael's, just a tube of something, and then I stitched it in all the called for colors, and I finished it with this green fabric into a pillow. I'm not a sewer, not by any means. My goal for sewing is it doesn't fall apart when I'm done, and so far nothing has, so we're doing okay. Yeah, and I love sunflowers. Sunflowers and hydrangeas are my two favorite flowers, so anything I can find to stitch with sunflower on, I will. Then my second one, I can't link this one because it came from a magazine. It came from Cross Stitch Christmas 2001, so you may have that. And it's called The Twisted Stocking by Twisted Threads. Here it is. I turned it into a Christmas ornament. It did have stars stitched all the way around, like big yellow stars, and I didn't really want that. I wanted it simple and clean, so I left those off, and I just finished it with batting on board and this striped fabric from my local quilt store and a bit of ribbon that I had in my stash. So there's that one. It's my first ornament that I've ever finished for myself. I did finish 7 last year. They're all sent us from My Fanny Designs on Etsy. And if you want to go back through my videos to last December, probably you'll see them. But I gave them all to Aaron's teachers and assistants. And I'm in the process of stitching the first one for myself. That one is a slower one. And the third fully finished that I can link below is from the Snowflake Diaries? Snowflower Diaries. Duh. Snowflower Diaries. They're Joyful World Sal. These are all freebies. They're a monthly series, and I fully finished February. Yay! Oops. Let me get you see so you guys can see the ducks. And Cheryl and Michelle mentioned my fabric dyeing. This is a piece that I had in my stash that was a bright purple, and I threw it in a jar with some brick dye in pearl gray and tan, I think, and grunged it up. So that's what it came out like. And I have the January finished. It was finished a while ago. Another piece that I grunged up. So that one is finished, and this one is finished. For some reason, this one was slightly larger, like a 1/4 inch larger than this one. So I had to adjust the back a bit, and I'm working on March, which I'll show you in my whips. But I put the frame down because this is actually the second time I videoed this. So ignore the magnets. I have the washers on back in January, but I haven't gotten any for February yet. But I'll show you. This is a frame. I'll put January on that I got at Michael's for like 70% off, and it had this fabric on it that kind of reminded me of 8 o'clock, and so they sit on that. I'm hoping by the end of the year to get like a March and April finish, so that I'll be able to like get the rest of the month done while they're actually on display. And that was my fully finishes out of my September things that I was working on. Oh, I'm working on March now. I'll show you. I might as well show you that now. Once again, a piece of, I think this was a bright blue, and I threw it in. And so March has, I'm going to say a crane, but it could be a different kind of bird. I'm not, like, my son would probably be able to tell you. And the yellow blob is a chick. So, and there's flowers all around it, and they all have the frame, the border around them and that. So that's pretty much the end of my September stuff. that I worked on since my last video. I have a few Halloween whips that I haven't worked on this month yet, but they will be in my rotation probably for October, possibly even November, and then they'll go away until next year. Then what else? What's next? I have notes, but I kind of have just winging it because I did the whole video, everything complete, and then I went to say, oh, I'll check on it before I put it in my editing app, and the camera was turned around and all you saw was a wall. I don't know. So let's do a previous finish and a shout out to a friend. So last year, like I said, I started with the smalls, and one of the first ones I did was this one called Happy Harvest by Darlene Dion Designs. Shout out to Darlene. She is from Nova Scotia, and she has tons of wonderful designs in her Etsy shop. She has a floss tube as well. I'll link both of them below. But she started this month doing a pattern of the month on sale, and this is for October. So if you like it, go grab it from her Etsy shop this month. She also does lots of great Canadian designs, and I've done a couple of them, and I have a couple more to do this year. What else can I say? I really like, oh, a couple of videos ago on her channel, she did a parade of all of her designs that she has got in her Etsy shop. So you might want to check that out, and it'll help you to decide what you want to buy. And finally, for kind of FFO area, I rescued a cross stitch from my mom. She doesn't cross stitch. She's never cross stitched, but I went to her condo the other day. She lives in seniors condo building, and they all have a little storage area in the basement. And she said, Jan, if you're not busy, I need to get that cleaned up a bit. She says it's gotten a bit untidy down there, and it's like a big room, and not everybody, because they have a couple of rooms, but everybody in that room has a designated area for Christmas tree and whatever else you want. Tires are in a different room. I don't know, whatever you want to store down there. Mostly what my mom has is Rubbermaid tubs of photo albums, which I gotta get at one of these days, like take an album here and there and go through them, because when both sets of grandparents passed away, my mom was the only one here to get them. My dad didn't have any siblings, and my mom has one sibling, and him and his wife didn't want any of it, so mom got it. And like my eldest sister lived away from home with her husband and kids until they were 8 or 9. So all the pictures that she would take of her kids when they were little, when my grandparents were alive, one set of grandparents would get a picture, the other set of grandparents would get a picture, mom and dad would get a picture. Sometimes I would get a picture because I lived away from home for a little while. So there's like multiple pictures of the same. I'm like, Mom, you really got to go through them and like toss out the doubles and triples, and you know, and anything where it's a half a person or a hand is in it, because it was film back then and you didn't know what you were getting when you developed them. So one day I got to take like an album and say, okay, let's sit down with this album. And a lot of them are the old sticky albums, and they will destroy your pictures, so you have to remove them. Anyway, so I went down with her, now that I get off that tangent, and we went through stuff, and I pulled out a tub, and there was some ornaments in it, and I said, I knew that weren't the ornaments that she used. I said, there are some ornaments here, and oh yeah, she said, I'll look at them, but I'm probably going to donate them. So I went, kind of glanced through them, and I found this, and I said, oh, you can't donate that, I have to take it. But I said, I didn't make it. She said, no. She said, I don't know where I got it. Someone must have gave it to me. So I brought it home. So here it is. Like she said, she doesn't remember. And I don't know the name of it. And I don't know who designed it. But if anybody recognizes it, it says naughty or nice in the corner. And if anybody recognizes it, could you post it down in the comments. And let me know so I can at least say I know who the designer was. And if you want to comment on anything you see, I love getting comments. I really appreciate them. I answer them as quickly as I can, but I do answer all of them, so leave a comment. So that's probably the end of the FFO kind of part of the video. Now we're going to move on to whips. So I showed you in March, and then everything else I have is a full coverage because, like I said, a month without them, I just kind of wanted to touch them all. I got 7 out of, I think it's 10 I have. 9 or 10. I'm just trying to think of what I didn't touch on. Yeah, I think there was 1 or 2 that I didn't, so maybe 9 I got. So they're in kind of the order that I touched them, but not really. I didn't put much in any of them. I just, like I said, wanted to touch them all. So first up, I'll just grab the photo. Let's see. The first one I stitched on was the reef, the reef. They're pretty much all mini unless I will tell you if they're not. So this is by John Enright, and it's stitched 1/1 on 28 count, and it's called Under the Sea. This is the picture of what it's supposed to look like. Hopefully you guys can see it. It's kind of hard to see right now on the fabric because I'm doing this corner up here and it's very close to the colored fabric, but once I get into all the fish in that, it'll be fine. And once again, like I said, this is a piece that was in my stash. It worked for the size of the design, and so that's what I did on. So I did 391 stitches and I'm at 3.12%. These that are low percentages, most of them I started in May because I make May all about me. I do whatever I want in May, and this May I wanted to start some full coverages, so I started 5. So here we are. This is what I have done, which is, like I said, the top left corner. It's like the sunlight shining through the water. That's why it's all light there. The next one I worked on was Warm at Home, which is by Irina Gershimoff. These are all Heaven and Earth designs. And pattern is picture, was on the back of the reef. And I tossed it on the floor. Okay, so this one is done 1/1 on 28 count ivory. This is what it's supposed to look like. And so we have a cat. She's napping, her favorite thing to do, and she is like multicolored. She's orangey color and brown and black and white, and trying to find a pattern that matches her was not going to be easy. So I decided to do a black and white picture. Why, I don't know. Okay, back on the floor. So I did 211 stitches and I'm at 3.56%. So here we are. Once again, top left corner, doing kind of diagonal. The reef I'm kind of doing whatever I kind of feel like doing. But this one, I put the line across because I did March Madness, and with that one you just kind of do as much as you can in the day. So I thought, well, if I gotta change 20 colors, and this one only has like not that many colors. It's I can't remember now, but there isn't that many because it's all black, white, and gray. So I put that line in, and then I just kind of started. And this you can kind of see is outside with the stars, and then this is the cat's fur. And then I worked on Snowflake Wonder by Lisa Victoria, and this is done 2/2 on ice blue 28 count. This one is a very small chart, obviously. If I'm doing all the rest of them 1/1, this one 2/2. So this is what it looks like, the baby dinosaur with the, or dinosaur dragon, try that again, with the snowflake, which I think is adorable. I need that picture, can't throw it on the floor. So I did 118 stitches, and I'm at 15.34%. This one I started diagonal, and then I got into the March Madness and just wanted to do a color, and then I started doing the blue down the side. So let me push back a little bit so you guys can see all of it. So it's a much smaller design than the rest of them. Ooh, touching up against my printer tray, that weird noise. Next I worked on River's Edge, and this I'm doing for my son. I said when I showed the February, or maybe I said it in the first video, he's very big into ducks and all the species of ducks. So this one is by Kevin Daniel. This is a regular size design, not a mini. And I'm doing it 1/1 on lichen gray. I think that's how you never know if I pronounce that right. So this one I decided to do extreme cross country, which for those of you who don't know is just pick a color and stitch all that color. So the first color I have almost completely done. There's just a little part where there's no other stitches, and I didn't want to take the chance of miscounting, so I said I'll leave those. I think that's the best way to hold it. There we go, kinda. Make sure I'm holding it right. Yep. It's hard to tell when you've got nothing to go by if you have it the right way or if it's upside down, but that is definitely the right way. And so I've moved on to this color, which is the 3865, the whitish color. And that's really hard to see that I've done anything with that color. This one I need to do some more work on because I want to get it done before he decides that ducks are not going to be his thing. Then I did Mini Sunflower by Marion Broom, which is stitched 1/1 on 25 count daffodil, and it's supposed to look like this. And I've kind of called this a focus, sort of, maybe kind of this year. I want to get it to 50% by the end of the year because this is my oldest full coverage, and it's the one that I have the most progress on. So my goal is to get it to 50% before the end of the year. I need to up my game if that's what I want to do. I need to turn it into a focus, like do 100 stitches a day or 200 stitches a day. I did 350 stitches. Did I tell you how much I did on River's Edge? I can't remember if I did. I did 359 stitches on River's Edge, and it's at 7.61%, if I didn't tell you. This one, I did 350 stitches, and it's at 36.94%. And here we are. I focused mostly on the center of the big flower with the brown, and did a little bit on the other side, down at the bottom with the brown. But yeah, I got to make a plan if I want to get this to 50%. By the end of the year, I'll have to figure out how many stitches I have left and divide that by the number of days and see if I can get it there. Next I did Queen of Hearts, which is a regular size. I started this as my birthday start in 2021. Yeah, 2021. I called it my multi-life project, and when I posted up an update on Instagram. And if you'd like to see my progress on Instagram, which happens a lot faster than here, I'm Deanne_stitching on the rock there. I love this piece. I've loved this piece since I discovered Heaven and Earth Designs. Don't know that I'll get it finished in this lifetime. I want to. But here she is. Queen of Hearts by Rachel Anderson. She called to me, but it's a lot of stitches. It's a lot of black stitches. It's a lot of 814, over 80,000 of both of them. But I'm determined. I did 355 stitches and I'm at 1.2%. Oh, no. Yep. Make sure I was doing it right. Yeah, I'm going that way. She lives in the Q-snap. I know the fabric is going to be crazy wrinkly, but it's going to be a while before I need to move the Q-snap. And I don't want to, it's all like rolled up and clipped with hair clips, and so I don't want to have to take it out if I don't have to. Yeah, I don't know if you can tell, but there are like 5 colors there. Yeah. And finally, I worked on Almost Winter by Leonid Afremov. Oh, did I tell you she stitched 1/1 on 28 count Dahlia, the pink color is called. So Almost Winter by Leonid Afremov, which is stitched 1/1 on 28 count Star Sapphire. There's a street actually several streets in the middle of town that, like, when the leaves drop, it looks like that with all the leaves on the road and you have to drive through the leaves. So this one, yeah, Star Sapphire, and I did 145 stitches this morning and I'm at 4.98%. So there we are, working on the second tree. And then once that tree goes up, but it goes, it comes up, but then it kind of branches off this way, and then there's a little tiny stick, I think, down here, or a light pole or something. Once all the black is done in that, then I'm going to come back and start another color on this half, because I don't think I want to go over on the other side and start at the black. It's a lot of black. I don't. Anyway, and that are my whips. It will even out more with my other types of whips now that I've kind of got I need to stitch off full coverage out of my brain. And next video I'll have a bit more of non-full coverage. I have a couple that I'm thinking of starting. Last video I said I was on a bit of a spending freeze because Aaron and I are planning a vacation for next summer, so I kind of have to save a bit of money. But I do have plenty in my stash that I can start. I have a couple in mind that I may decide I want a new start. Since I got 3 FFOs, I should get to start something new. Plans wise, like I said, I think I'm going to sit down with my sunflower pattern and work out if I want to get to 50% by the end of the year, how much I have to stitch, and start a daily stitch on that. I am working on some project bags. Like I told you, my sewing is, if it doesn't fall apart, it's good. So they're in different stages. Hopefully by next video I'll have a couple to show you. I've got a couple of Christmas ones in the sewing stages, and I have a Halloween one cut out, but I needed some orange thread and I haven't gotten to the store. I'll do that this week and get my orange thread. And what else is there for plans? I think that's about it. Next time, maybe I've gotten some new subscribers, so I might actually pull up my project bags. I tend for the video to take everything out of the project bags and have it all here in piles, but maybe I'll show you some of the project bags I've made, and I have some that a lovely subscriber made me. Yeah, the Blue Jays. We're not going to talk about the Blue Jays. Anyway, I'll see you guys in a couple weeks. Bye.